We now have a new Alien movie in the franchise, Alien Romulus, so let's review it. And for starters, I really like the new cast of characters I have in this movie. Some standouts for me are the two main characters in this movie, Rain and Andy. I especially like Andy the most, but I just like the idea of Andy's character in here. I'm not going to dive into it because I don't really know if it's a spoiler or not. Yeah, but I really like the two main characters of Rain and Andy. They're the ones that had the most to do in the movie. I enjoyed all the other characters too, but they're kind of sidelined. Mainly Rain and Andy are the two characters that I enjoyed the most, and I'm glad that they are in this movie. And I also like the horror tone in here. This movie is from the director of the remake of Evil Dead, and you can see that because there is a lot of horror elements into this movie that I did like. And some of the jump scares in this movie, they don't really have build up to it, so there's only a few of those though. Some have build up, some don't. And I like the ones that don't have build up, because that's the jump scares that I like the most, are the ones that don't have build up to it and just come out of nowhere. But yeah, you can definitely feel the horror tone in Alien Romulus, and I really like that tone in this movie. If you're a diehard fan of Alien, for all the lore that Prometheus, Covenant, like all of those Alien movies, if you like all the lore that they have, you're gonna like this movie. Even if you don't like the lore, maybe this movie will make you appreciate it more. I'm not sure, but if you love the lore of those past few movies, this movie definitely ties in the lore from Prometheus and Covenant into like the main franchise of the world. What I like most about this movie is that it's tying in everything that Aliens ever put out. All the way to Prometheus, all the way to Alien Resurrection, it ties in everything, every new bit of lore they introduced. I liked how they all tied together to make it all canon officially, and you can actually see the idea of one thing in Prometheus actually be relevant in this movie. And I liked how it connected to like that. I also like the tone of this movie, how it matches the first Alien movie. It kind of follows the same structure of it, but I like that because it's going back to the original, but it's also pulling elements in from all the lore from the other movies. You basically have about the original plot almost, with all this new lore into it, finally connecting all these movies together. Now, although I'm not a die-hard Alien fan, the lore that was introduced in Prometheus and Covenant, I was kind of like, is this necessary? I feel like this movie tied it together, that I appreciated it more. That I wasn't like, is this necessary? But it's kind of unnecessary, just those two movies alone, but I feel like this movie made it kind of work more. And just the last, like about the final act of the movie, I want to say the last 40 minutes of the movie, because this movie's structured like any other old Alien movie. You spend like the first 40 minutes setting up everything, slowly introducing these characters, and then for the rest of the movie is Alien attacking people. And this one, when Alien starts attacking people, it's intense. Some of the best parts of the movie are right there, because I was at the edge of my seat constantly waiting to see what happens next, and I was just hooked to the screen for that entire 40 minutes of the movie. I was completely hooked to the screen on what was about to happen next. Now, some people online are saying the ending is crazy. Like I said, I'm new to Aliens, so I don't really know the lore fully, so I didn't really see a crazy ending. I saw something that kind of connected to something else, but crazy ending, I don't really see that connection. I do like how after the first 40 minutes of the movie, you're completely hooked to the screen. And there's also some director choices in here, like there's no sound in space, so every time they're outside of a ship, there's no sound. I do like elements like that because it just adds to everything. Some people online are saying this movie's just fan service. I see it as connecting everything together and just making it all fit together in the movie, so that just there's not just threads out there that don't make sense. I see it as it all connecting together. Now, since I'm new to Alien, I feel like there's some key moments in here that I might have missed because I didn't really comprehend everything that happened really in Prometheus and Covenant, because there's just some this stuff that they did with the lore there. So I feel like I did miss something out of those two movies. meaning that I might have missed something in this movie as well. Kind of the other movie's fault, but it kind of impacted this movie a little bit. Like I also did say in the like section, the movie's slow at the beginning, which didn't really affect anything, but the problem's there for a little bit. But yeah, like I say, it quickly picks back up, but it's like any other Alien movie, it's slow in the first 40 minutes, introducing everything, and then everything happens. I kind of wish the first 40 minutes were faster. I kind of wish the movie was bloodier, because I felt like Covenant was one of the bloodiest Alien movies, and I feel like this one's a step down in scale for how bloody it is. I feel like it would have added more to the horror if you just made it a lot more bloodier. I still like it the way it is, but compared to Covenant, I feel like you could have made this a lot more gorier. But other than those few nitpicks, I don't really have any more problems with the movie. Now, depending on how big of an Alien fan you are, you're going to be on a different scale for the movie, but for me, those are the only problems I had, and they were just small little nitpicks. Alien Romulus is a great add to the Alien franchise. Although I'm new to the franchise as a whole, I did appreciate it for tying in some other lore concepts that the entire franchise has had and tied it all together. A few nitpicks here and there, but Alien Romulus, great add, great horror. I would definitely recommend checking it out, and out of 10, I'll give it a 8.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, maybe these ones on the side will interest you too, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.